And what is up, everybody? Welcome back. And I can never get enough of that song. I love the way it sounds. It's just so catchy. I'm here with my boy Trigger, and welcome back to the Average Show. Triggs, what's going on, my dude?
What's up, dude?
How's it going, brother?
Pretty good, man. Honestly, sorry. I'm having some weird troubles with my RGB and stuff like that, and I know it's first world problems, dude. I can't get my lights to sync, and it's not looking funny or looking bad. It's just I'm over it, and I'm like, nah, man. I had this all synced up with my keyboard and my mouse and other shit, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? And now it doesn't look right. Look at that. Now it just looks plain and boring.
You're all like, oh man, there's just so many colors all over the place.
Yeah,
Man.
so many colors, man, and
hey,
boring.
well, I'm not gonna lie, man. I am liking the way your setup is coming along. It looks very like the mood, man.
Right, man. I'm actually, I'm really happy with the way that the set is coming out, because dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. Once I put this hue in, it totally changed the entire mood.
Yeah, dude, it looks like you need some like a hookah lounge kind of vibe going on in the back.
Dude, for real, man. I could put it on this bad boy right here.
Hookah lamp and shit. Hey, so hi to everybody in the comments. Danny, hey Danny, how's it going, man? Long time I haven't seen you in a while. Heard from you. Robert, what's up? RenX Gaming, dude, what's up from Twitch? And Kyle, what's going on, man? I hope you guys are having a good week. I hope you guys are doing good. We survived, dude. The week started, and Wednesday was the no mask law, and so far everybody's doing pretty good, man. So it's one of those things right now that
to not to cut you off, but Danny, I have actually I also go on Instagram as well. There's this channel, there's this page that I follow, Dope Gaming Setups, and I try and get inspiration from them as well. As you can see, it's still obviously very plain and stuff like that, but I'm trying to change all that right now. The money that I would need to throw at my set is the money that I've thrown at my computer.
I think we're just gonna get green screens, dude. I have this fabric that I bought a while back that I wanted to put in the background, so I could put myself in space, right? I could put myself on the moon, or I could put myself on all these.
Actually, with my Keo, I could actually digitally green screen myself.
Oh, well, yeah, but you still need a green screen, though. If not, it's going to catch all the other... Really, dude? Wow.
Nope.
And I think it's also with the graphics card, because you need something that's... Of course, with your graphics card, you probably got it, but it's got to be above a 1070.
I have two 2070s.
Yeah, okay. So you're all right. Because I know that in the program for NVIDIA, they have this really nice green screen programming. But yeah, dude, that'd be really cool. So anytime we're really talking about some stuff, we could put ourselves in the same area. Like if we're gonna talk Justice League, put us on Apocalypse or something like that. We'll just be hanging out in Apocalypse. So that'd be really cool. In front of the Daily Planet to make sure we're safe.
Fuck yeah.
But I was very I'm very happy. I haven't heard a lot of bad things that happened this week, because I know that of course the mask mandate went into effect on Wednesday. But I think our Texas really showed, and everybody was really respectful. I think everybody was just really respecting the idea. And of course, people were playing it safe. I know, probably a small handful of people wanted to, of course, not wear the mask. I don't want to wear my mask, but, out of respect for others, I continue to wear mine even without the mask mandate, out of safety and out of precaution, and out of just being courteous and a nice individual. And I feel like the rest of the valley is probably going to be that way too, because we come from a great community and everybody's going to help each other out to try to get through this. And I'm really excited for things to come. Did you see? Okay, so last week in the comments we had Pete Martinez from Morphin Mania in the comments, right? Did you see that they're bringing down 2 people from The Mandalorian?
I did not. So
he's bringing down the actor who plays the alien in the first season that tries to kill Grogu. Remember the one that looks very alien-esque in the ship? There's when they're doing the jailbreak.
Yeah.
And then the guy who screws him over in the desert. The young kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's bringing those 2 people down for the next meet and greet that'll be at Quinn Comics and the Flux in McAllen. Quinn Comics is in Harlingen. So if we have any Mandalorian fans, jump on to Morphin Mania, their webpage. check out their stuff, dude. They got some really cool things coming along. What else is going on in stuff? Oh yeah, Robert, I don't know if you saw the video of Clayton at the beach. Yeah, apparently Clayton's is getting off the chain, getting that margarita mix of COVID virus and life. let's just pray that people kind of practice at least some kind of social distancing, other than the other stuff they should be practicing during spring break, which is of course like no driving drunk, don't drink too much that you get lost on the beach and something bad happens. Because of course we'll remember living down here in the valley in the South Texas area near South Padre Island that there are most of the time, which is sad to say, some type of casualties of people that go missing for a couple weeks and then they find them that they got lost in the water or got picked up by the shore or whatever. And it gets really, really sad. So I hope that they're responsible. And yeah, I really hope they're responsible. Robert also asks, I hope you guys got your stimulus checks. I don't know. I haven't checked. So what's the thing with the stimulus checks? Are we supposed to be getting another one?
Yeah, $1,400.
$1,400. Is there any is there anything that we should be looking out for in the sense of like who's not going to get it, or is everybody supposed to get one?
I think the people who are going to be getting it first are the people who have already filed their taxes.
Okay, so it'll be like seniors.
Yeah,
first?
So the people who have filed their taxes with direct deposit, you should be getting yours first. Excellent,
man. So an extra $1,400 from the government. Of course, not the $2,000 that they were arguing for the last time.
Well, we got $600, and they're like, "Well, there's your other 14. You fucking."
Oh, Danny Baller! Next week, it's already season in the bank pending. Damn, Baller! Wow. You know what that means? When I get my stimulus check, $1,400 burgers, dude. Get $1,400 burgers. Yeah, well, that's really nice. Plus, not only that, if you got to file your income tax, you got your income tax coming up. You should be coming apart some a pretty penny. So just make sure that you make it last, make it save, and be careful, because if I'm not mistaken, our area is coming into hurricane season pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got to be very prepared for that. The weather has not been kind to us. And of course, people, my listeners and watchers,
don't go out and buy all the fucking toilet paper and all the goddamn ramen like out of nowhere. Because I know that some of you guys are going to be like, oh my God.
Oh, Danny's like, but the bill's going to go to loans and bills. So adios, bro. Aw. Well, we'll get you something nice. Now, you know what, dude? If you do not want to have problems the way it was when the coronavirus first started,
don't pay your taxes.
And you don't want to be in line being all crazy trying to buy toilet paper because everyone else is buy it, buy a bidet, dude. Get a bidet. Do you know what a bidet is, Trigger?
I do know what a bidet is.
Do you want to let the audience know what a bidet is in case they don't know?
It is a toilet that that shoots water up your butthole.
Yes. Well, I mean, it doesn't go in your butthole. There's no injection of water in your butthole. But it cleans your butt. It's a little device that cleans your butt. Actually, Amazon sells them for starting from like I believe $27 to high end $200, $300, of course. Of course, the high end being like it warms the water in case it's too cold.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like there's a dryer function or something like that. But if you don't want to be working with that toilet paper, you get a bidet. Or for my retro lovers of the movie Demolition Man, you go with the 3 seashells. Do you remember the 3 seashells?
Yes.
Dude, should have a whole discussion about the 3 seashells, dude. Hey, so going into what we're going to be talking about today, and the reason why we're going to get right into it is because we're probably going to go on a long ass tangent. Plus, we got a good amount of people in the chat that love DC Comics. And not only that, we're going to be having a special guest next week, which will be Pete Martinez himself. Pete Martinez is going to be joining us because he is a diehard DC fan. One of the only dudes that I've argued with online about how the Man of Steel movie sucks and why it sucks and why it's not a great movie. And he will, on his shield, bro, say that it's the best movie, that it beats all the Marvel movies.
I would not say that it beats all the Marvel movies, but I think that people are a little too harsh on that movie.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I can see that. Like
I will 100% say that it is a
Jeremy.
fucking fantastic movie, dude. It is so good.
I mean, I love we said this a million times before. Henry Cavill is Superman. Perfect.
Oh,
he can 100%. Do no wrong. He can do no wrong.
That man
Henry Cavill literally probably has the worst back problems carrying the entire DC universe on his back.
Yeah.
Dude.
And you know what, dude? All he did was just like, you know what, dude? I'm gonna go work out real quick. Don't worry about it. I'll just strengthen my back again because I'm still carrying your shit.
Because he's still doing it, man.
Yeah,
I'm super impressed by that. That's good.
But yeah, not just that, dude. There's also you know, the fact that like he's now like in The Witcher as well, and still like might have a commitment to Superman and stuff like that. You know, I know that like they're like, oh man, J.J. Abrams, the new Superman. I'm kind of just like, all right, dude, whatever. You guys know that you're gonna reach out to Henry Cavill again. So,
well, I don't think that Henry Cavill himself is done playing Superman, right? Because
I think he still has more contractual obligations to play him.
More than likely, he probably does, but I think deep down inside, he really loves that role.
Oh yeah,
like I think he really, really does. That's like to me, it's almost like the way it is with Robert Downey Jr. You know,
yeah, but Robert Downey has already stated that he's done with.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I understand that, and bro, he deserves it. You know, he's been in almost every movie going into the Marvel universe from like phase 1 to phase 3. So like, if there's anybody that deserves a break, it's him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So and not only that, like. I think out of the majority of the characters in the Marvel universe, he got the most excellent storytelling beginning and finish.
Not just that, dude, but I think like even just like on a personal level, like he got the biggest redemption story ever of like an actor.
Yeah, life, dude.
Yeah,
his entire life is a redemption story, and it's amazing. I'm so proud of him, man. And he still continues to do great things. Continues to do great things. But going back, we're gonna be bringing on next week a good friend of ours, Pete Martinez, the guy behind Morphin Mania, Collectors Mania, the Fan Expo in Harlingen. He's a great dude, and he's a huge DC fan. And what we decided to do is next week, I believe Thursday, is when the 4-hour premiere of Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be coming out. Right? I believe it's on Thursday, which is going to be, is it the 18th? I want to say it's the 18th.
Yes. Yes, yeah. It is the 18th.
The film is apparently 4 hours long. And the last time I saw Pete, those people are lucky to get to see an hour of it, of the Snyder Cut. I mean, it's how you look at it, right, Robert? Like, because we already casually know what the Justice League movie is about, but they just get to see all the extra shit. You know what I mean? Like all the extra stuff, which, I mean, through and through, Justice League movie, like, yeah, there's parts of it that are bad, but it's a pretty watchable movie. It's not like a straight garbage movie. Like, you can watch it and have a good time. A lot of people, the reason why it gets hit so hard is because they compare it directly to the Marvel movies, who already have a really good track record of creating these movies like this, where Warner Brothers is kind of, you know, barely catching up to it. They're trying to find their pace. And I know that there was a lot of situation that happened between the original Snyder Cut and Joss Whedon, which, if I'm not mistaken, Snyder's daughter committed suicide. And then I
don't know if she committed suicide or I mean, I know that she died, but yeah, so like I know that for sure she died.
So we know that Snyder was unavailable to do it. Joss Whedon came in and did as best as he could with the footage and with the direction they were going. But it's two different artistic appreciations for stuff. And we all know Zack Snyder is one of those guys that likes that dark, gritty kind of action. And, you know, there is a part of me that was slightly worried that he was the director originally of the Justice League. But then again, there's a part of me that was excited because of the fact that like the way he does 300, right?
Yeah.
Like the way he did 300 was he made King Leonidas look like a god, dude. He made every one of those guys look like a fucking god.
Yeah, dude.
But in the Watchmen, he made all the characters look like heroes and superheroes, like they had superpowers. But in the Watchmen story, they're just supposed to be normal Joes with no powers. And they're supposed to be like, kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember, like back in the day when those guys would dress up in New York City as superheroes and go around and like patrol the cities, like night watch and shit. Do you remember when people, there was like an MMA fighter that was doing it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That technically is supposed to be what the Watchmen is about, but how there's like a fall of hope in the story. And you start to see the human side, and you start to see the breaking points of these heroes getting broken down because they're human. And then the only person that's not human is also losing his humanity. It's a masterpiece story, but when you watch it the way Snyder put it out, it was literally the Justice League. Like every person had like a crazy, they were like above human Captain America kind. Not saying the movie sucks. I love the Watchmen story. I like the film, but I feel like it had some missing parts from the book because of the direction of what Snyder took. So like there is a part of me that's a little bit worried on how dark the Justice League movie that Snyder's going to do, how dark it's going to get. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's going to lose translation into knowing that this comes from a book that's supposed to be where like the main character like radiates like brightness. You know what I mean? Like when you see Superman, you don't see him in that dark tone, but they're trying to showcase more of him wearing like the black Superman suit. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a little bit of me that's like, I'm a little worried, but I'm hoping when they start to open up about the Flash's story and they start to get a little bit more into like the Superman part, like it kind of brightens the grain, I guess, or the cinematography up a little bit. Because I think the tone of the Flash movie,
that I get, because like, you know, everyone is kind of like, oh, well, this, that, and the other about like the, you know, the Justice League, and it was super lackluster and all this other stuff. And I'm kind of just like, dude, I mean, like it was a good movie for what it was.
Yeah.
With like changing its producer, like literally right in the middle of
like
the movie.
Almost at the ending of it, right?
And then like ordered all these reshoots because he's like, I control this motherfucker now. And then on top of that, we like find out that there actually was a Snyder cut after Zack Snyder stating up and down that there was never a Snyder cut. And then he was like, all right, JK, actually there is one. But I never finished it, so I'm gonna have to order this to be finished. And they're like, fucking go for it. And they did, and now everyone's like, oh dude, it's gonna be trash because like this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, you never finished his first fucking movie, so let's let him finish it and see how it turns out.
Well, he has such, I mean, dude, think of the opportunity. How many times has this ever happened in like film history? Where like someone gets the opportunity to go back and like do a redo of something that they wanted and then they weren't able to finish and they had to replace them. And then the company was like, cool, we'll give you a couple extra, you know, $72 million. Go ahead and go finish the rest of your film. Like that's pretty cool, man.
Right.
That's pretty damn cool because that's like a first in history that I've ever heard of that. You know, normally when this kind of thing would happen, the company would just say, nah, well, we're going to do a soft reboot. We'll just redo the whole thing and we'll just do it as the way you want to do it. Like, it's cool that the company said, yes, we can continue it. And it's cool that Snyder was like, no, it's cool. I'll use the footage we have and I'll just do the rest that I wanted. But then this goes to, for me to ask, so it's supposed to be 4 hours long, right? And I think a little while ago, I just saw in the comments, Jeremy put, and it's going to be broken down into 6 parts. so people can take a break and come back to it if that's the case. Right? So I'm guessing each one of those parts, knowing Zack Snyder, he's going to call it chapters. And each one of those chapters is going to have like a title, like chapter 1, The Darkness, chapter 2, The Amazon.
Well, they already released like what those chapters were going to be called.
Really? They already released those chapters? Shit. I didn't even know. I just kind of figured because that's kind of like the way, that's kind of like in the style of Snyder's directing. While Trigger's looking for that, let me go through the comments real quick so I can make sure I catch up with everybody. I just hope he directs part. Robert says, I just hope he directs part 2, that there might be hope, he said, and he wants to do a Wonder Woman 3. I was hearing how this one goes. He's going to have fun. I'm sorry, I can't read good. DC gets fan gets just, okay. So what he's saying is that it looks like he's talking about maybe doing a part 2 to the Justice League, and hopefully it's Snyder that continues the story, and that Snyder's hoping to hopefully do a part 3 of Wonder Woman. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Do you feel, it's a good question for you, Triggs. Do you feel that Snyder is going to be the Kevin Feige of the DC universe?
Very well could be.
You feel it?
He could be, but the thing is that Kevin Feige has a track record of putting together amazing directors.
Yeah, that's not a fucking lie.
Who have time and time again proven that they can make a movie, they can make a solid movie, and then they can make it cohesive to the overall landscape that he's trying to build. So you know what? It's one thing to get like Martin Scorsese to direct the next fucking Superman movie.
Yeah.
It's another thing to get fucking Sam Raimi to do it, or whoever the fuck, or Christopher Nolan or something like that to, redirect, this next Batman movie or some shit like that.
That's a really good point. You know what? There was, I'm always having these weird, like, me and my conspiracy theory shit. You know how like, and it just so happens you mentioned Martin Scorsese. Warner Brothers is a really, really big backer, and it's backed a lot also by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
And then Steven Spielberg, of course, has his like circle of director friends, including Martin Scorsese and a lot of other directors like that. And a lot of those people, I don't know if you remember, like 2 years ago, were shitting on comic book movies.
Yeah. How Martin Scorsese said that like the Marvel films aren't cinema. And I was like, look, man, I really respect you as a filmmaker, but you're a stupid piece of shit.
But you know what? Like, I feel like going into seeing the success from Endgame, from Infinity War to Endgame, I feel like those directors and Warner Brothers got together and they were like, hey, you know what? Maybe we're missing something here and we should really focus on this. Like, because it changed. It really, really changed after Endgame. They considered bringing in James Gunn after Marvel fired his ass, or Disney fired. They picked him up right away. Even with all the controversy surrounding him, they were like, "Oh fuck it, he touches kids. That's cool. We'll pick him up if you don't want him." Like, they didn't even care about that. They automatically picked him up for Suicide Squad, which they literally tried to make their first movie based on his film that he did in Marvel. So they were like, well, fuck it. If we can't make a movie like him, we just get the director to come and make a movie for us, period. And then that's when Disney came back and was like, hey, you know what, James Gunn? We see how valuable you are, and we know you did some stupid shit online, but we'll hire you back as a secret writer, and then we'll keep tabs on you. And then we'll make sure that you do good or whatever, PR or whatever the fuck they're going to do. But they brought him back. Now he's back in the seat of directing Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course he does well, but even throughout all that controversy, even though there's a lot of controversy right now surrounding Disney, you saw how these like companies kind of like bounced it backwards and forwards, but Warner Brothers changed its methods. Like Warner Brothers kind of like opened up to it a little bit more. They dropped $72 million on Justice League to make it right. You know what I mean? That's a lot of faith in a film. So like, I just have this really crazy feeling like maybe this is that fork in the road for DC movies. Like maybe it changed.
Well, I mean, this very well could just breathe new life back into the DCEU. And I think that's what a lot of people ultimately are really hoping happens, because you know what, dude? Even I am too. I love DC.
Yeah.
I truly love DC. And after listening to Comics Explained, pretty much all day, I was just like, fuck, dude, this is why I really like DC, man. They tell grandiose stories that are just so cohesive and never leave out somebody for a stupid reason. And then you get the DCU movies and they feel very lackluster. And like, I get why everyone's kind of like, well, this, that, and the other. And I think this is really, kind of, I don't know. And I get everyone's reluctance for this. For me, it's like I want to give them faith. I want to give them that faith, that benefit of the doubt that, you know what? You said that you were going to give us a good movie, a solid movie, and I think you're going to do that. So let's fucking do it.
And do you think they're going to do it? I mean, I'm going to tell you exactly what I told Pete when I saw him at the Morphin Mania the other day, last weekend. Pete, how do you feel about Snyder cut? And he's like, I mean, I'm excited, but like, I really hope they pull it off. Right?
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
And in my mind, I told him, yeah, dude, like I feel the exact same way, because if you gave someone 4 hours to tell a story and they messed it up, they just don't have it. You know what I mean? Like they just don't get it. Cause that's wild, dude. If they mess it up for 4 hours, like if it's just like all over the place, doesn't make sense. Like the 4 hour idea, I'm excited as fuck. Who wouldn't want to see a 4 hour superhero movie?
Right. I mean, it's an hour longer than Endgame.
Yeah. And just to chill out, watch Batman and Superman for 4 hours. I could do that shit. I do that shit already just watching HBO Max. You know what I mean? But like if you lose the story and translation because you wanted to fill the screen with CG and action, that's the only way that I see this story is going to not work. And I'm going to be so disappointed.
Yeah, and I get that. Like, a lot of people are like, well, I hope this happens. And I'm kind of just like, dude, I just hope it fucking works.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not going to say that I'm expecting the world from this. I'm not saying that I'm expecting that this is going to be the exact thing that's going to reinvigorate the DCEU and shareholders and everyone else is going to be like, well, there it is, dude. That's our fucking money. That's our ticket. Fuck this next J.J. Abrams Superman movie. Cavill, get your
ass back over here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Jeremy actually raised a really good question in the comments too. With and if the Justice League Snyder cut is prominent and does very well, do you think DC should go back and visit other films? How about the Ayer cut? That's the direction of how they did the Suicide Squad film. Do you think Ayer should get the opportunity to go back, get some extra cash from the company, and then redo it?
No.
I really don't think so either, man.
No.
I really don't think so.
The reason that I think so is because that film wasn't taken away from him. Or like he didn't leave the film for some very, very tragic circumstance.
Yeah. I remember that the only thing that was going on was
that the entire fucking time. That's completely on you, homie.
I know that he had some creative differences with Warner Brothers, like the directs, and the people up top were kind of like, just do it this way. And there was like a lot of last minute changes, which
but if that's the case, then if they were doing that then, why would they be so inclined to do it now?
Yeah, that's exactly my thing is like, do they deserve the opportunity to do that when clearly how they made Suicide Squad was a mistake? You know what I mean? Like, do they get that opportunity to go back and do a redo, even though they made, if I'm not mistaken, Suicide Squad must have made at least over $1 million in the box office.
If it only made $1 million, the studio
It would be pretty bad.
down.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no. If any movie that big ever only made $1 million, they would shut down the studio.
Yeah,
that's bankruptcy money. Here, let me pull up their numbers. Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Box office. 746.8 million.
146.
700.
Oh, 700. Okay. Well, you see, you still made a lot of money. They probably made the money back that they did putting into the film. They probably made the overhead, which is good. But like that was with the movie.
So production budget was 175 and 320. So overall, it was 325 million, including advertising and promotion costs.
Okay.
So yeah, they made an additional 400 million.
About $400 million over.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, like that was the movie. It was through and through. There's no problems. The reviews of that movie weren't great, but they still made a movie nonetheless with no problems in the box office.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, I'm like, fucking, I don't know. Like, I didn't think it was too bad. The only parts that I didn't like were just the fucking Joker parts, bro. It was so bad.
Well, and that's another thing, man.
And Jared Leto's such a good actor.
That same Joker is
gonna be in the Nightmare sequence.
Very prominent in the Justice League movie that's coming up.
I know. Well, I'm not gonna say that he's prominent, but he makes a big appearance. You know, like he's in the Nightmare sequence, and not only is he in the Nightmare sequence, but so is Deathstroke, and so is the Flash.
So let's break that down, because the Nightmare realm or the Nightmare sequence, the dream sequence that's in the original Justice League is slightly touched on in the original Justice League film. But now it looks like they're going to put almost like a whole other chapter dedicated to this. Being someone just like myself who reads comic books and knows DC Comics, what the hell do you think's going on with the Nightmare thing?
At first, I thought it was just a bad dream, right? Like, I thought it was just a bad dream. But then I really started to think about it, and I didn't think that anymore. And the reason being is because he's seeing things that he had no knowledge of. None.
Yeah, like the Darkseid Omega.
Yeah, like how would he know?
Parademons, nothing.
He wouldn't. Like, fucking Wonder Woman barely finds out about him, and she knows way more about that landscape than he does.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait, but you like know about that? The only thing that I could think of is the fact that in the Joss Whedon cut, and this actually kind of makes a little bit more sense now, looking back on it, is that in the Joss Whedon cut, right after the Nightmare sequence, what wakes him up? The
Isn't
fact
it
that
the Flash?
No, it's the
the Flash comes out, right?
He comes and he wakes him up, and then he wakes up again, and it's the file being complete.
Yeah. So you know what would be really, really cool? Actually, like listening to how you're like explaining it, it would be very interesting if Joss Whedon can pull off the idea that now that the Snyder cut has been done and he's going to be releasing it, that future that they visited was the future of the Joss Whedon Justice League. Like that was the future that was part of that universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then
that would kind of bring the whole
not really, because then that like the only way that would have worked would have been like multiverse theory. And
well, I mean, we know they're going to go that way.
We don't though. Like that I even think might just be an overshoot. And I don't think that they're going to go with the multiverse way. I think they're going to go with the time travel way.
So you think that it's not going to be multiverse in that sense? We know that there's a multiverse, right? Because DC already has the multiverse, and the DCU is a part of that multiverse.
Technically, yes, but yeah, go
on. But you think that like if and when the Flash does enter the Speed Force and all that stuff, it's only going to be dictated on the timeline itself?
Actually, you know what? I do retort my previous statement. We do know that there's a multiverse in the DCEU.
And how's that?
fucking Elseworlds, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Who came out? Fucking Ezra Miller, dude. Who gave him his name?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Fuck. Good call.
So yeah, I mean, there technically is a multiverse. You're right.
Yeah, shit. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and I just
fuck,
put
that was
that
crazy.
together
Yeah.
now.
God bless that fucking CW television show.
You're right, dude. You saved the Snyder cut. But
do you think that there's a possibility that we're gonna get an Ezra Miller, that we're gonna get a Flash TV show cameo in the movie?
I mean, I highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. The only reason is that Grant Gustin is so wrapped up in like the Flash TV show.
Yeah,
to get him a way to do that, heck, who knows? Ezra Miller hasn't done shit since Justice League and Crimes Against Grindelwald.
Yeah, he's been pretty MIA for a bit.
Yeah, so he hasn't done dick.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that Grant Gustin wouldn't take the opportunity to actually be
I'm sure he would.
DCU
I know he would. I mean, when Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash, like Grant Gustin was kind of like, damn, I really wish that they had casted me instead.
Yeah, so was the whole fucking world. The whole community was like that.
And I mean, I get why they did it, but you have some fucking supermodel guy who's trying to be, an irresponsible fuckstick, as the Flash at times. I thought it was kind of like, all right, whatever, fuck it. I mean, he works. He works. I mean, he's very immature, and he pulls off the immature thing very well. Very, very well.
Yeah, Miller's very, very good at playing the Flash and Barry Allen and stuff.
Yeah,
I just feel like
when they all disappear and he's on the rooftop with Commissioner Gordon, he was like, "Oh, that's rude."
Yeah, that's weird. I really feel like there is a pretty good possibility that. So, if you've seen the trailer, this goes to our people in the comments and our viewers. If you've seen the trailer for what they've been releasing for the Zack Snyder cut, there is scenes that they do that are quick little snippets of the nightmare dimension or whatever, the nightmare sequence, right? What's crazy about it is if you look at the Flash, he is wearing armor. He is wearing like some type of exterior exoskeleton on top of his body in the future variation, not when he's running in the Speed Force for the first time. So there is a scene where he's running in the Speed Force and he's just kind of doing this cool little geeky little funny run that he does. And then in the future variation, and that's what I'll call it the Injustice future. Because to me, I feel like where they're getting the concept art for this is, of course, Injustice. The idea that Darkseid has always wanted to have Superman as his slave and have the Kryptonian by his side. And then the other one is what was that game that they had on DCEU? No, DC Universe Online.
Yeah.
There is an awesome cinematic. They even got Conroy, right? The Batman, the guy that does Batman's voice.
Yeah, Ken Conroy.
The original Superman from the Superman cartoons, which is all the animated ones, and they even got Mark Hamill to voice the Joker again. And I wouldn't doubt that the Harley Quinn girl is the same one also.
Tara Strong, yeah, it is. But at the same time, dude, to be completely honest, that game is old. I was playing that game in 2012.
Yeah,
and it already had some miles on it at that time.
Yeah, but not only that, but the cinematic of that future world that they're in is, you can't tell me that's not something you've always wanted to see ever since you've seen that cinematic.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. It really was. But as far as the nightmare sequence goes, oh dude, I'm trying to remember which comic, but they feature something very, very close to that. And I'm like, dude, I've seen this before. I know I have.
Well, it's got to be something of, I mean, the publication of Darkseid has been Man, dude, that guy's been everywhere, man.
Everywhere.
And that's the thing is like we kind of wanted to also, I mean, it'd be a good time that we can jump into it about right now. We want to kind of talk to you guys about in the trailer they did show some extra characters that they have not introduced yet in the film world. One of them, of course, being Darkseid, right? The other one, of course, is, I mean, you've already seen Steppenwolf, but of course you're going to see like an armored version that doesn't look like his comic book variation, but that's going to look very similar to the Justice League movie one. Of course, better graphics. But there's also another person that's there that Triggs, we talked about this last week that I'm super excited to see her. We got Granny Goodness.
Yep.
We got the Granny Goodness, which kind of opens up like a whole new slew of ideas that could be coming in.
I'm trying to figure out who that other person in the cloak was, and like I know of that person.
Yeah, he's the like the magistrate that's always around. He's like the number one like dude that's always with Darkseid. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember. I know that he gets his ass kicked, real gacho, in one of the animated films when they capture. I think it's
Darkseid.
Yeah, is that Darkseid as well? Yeah, there you go. Jeremy said it too. Good call. Good call, Jeremy. My dude, he knows his comics too, man. Yeah, it's very cool to see like Darkseid's council. And then of course they're gonna kind of like show a lot more of the planet of Apocalypse, which kind of gives you the idea of like if they're gonna show the Furies.
I mean, they very well could because they have Granny Goodness there. And Granny Goodness controls the Furies. You know, for me, the only Fury that I really give a shit about is I'm Big super
excited, dude.
Yeah, it's Big Barda.
Big Barda, dude. If they, man, dude, it's so weird because, like, I guess, like, growing up when you're a young reader, everybody had their crushes on Wonder Woman, of course, because Wonder Woman is always just like this pretty lady. But Big Barda I always had like a mad crush on Big Barda. She was just such a badass.
A stout girl, dude.
Yeah, she's just such a badass, dude. Like, she was just like, it's crazy when people say that there's not enough like representation in comic books. Cause man, Big Barda was a fucking beast in all of them, man. Yeah, she was whopping socks. She was telling Mr. Miracle what to do because she's in charge. She wears the pants in that relationship. And that's the other thing too, man. Do you think the idea of them introducing Darkseid heavily as the way that it looks like they're gonna introduce him here, that they'll introduce like the old gods and New Genesis and all that other stuff?
I think they will. I think they would have to now because of the way that they're going with the overall story. Because it's one thing to be like, okay, I'm going to introduce Steppenwolf. Now we have the introduction of a far like, a lot more grand scale of just the Earth-based superheroes now. All right, so now that like the Joss cut, finished and as lackluster as people might claim it may be, it did introduce a lot of things. The fact that now that there is a bigger landscape out there, the Justice League are equipped enough to deal with it, and that they now see Earth as a threat. So there's going to be some sort of return, or should have been, right? And so now, because where we've seen that, now we can expand a little bit more on that, which is what I'm sure Zack Snyder wanted to do in the first place. Even if that wasn't his original intention, you now see that he's kind of like, well, we opened the fucking doors on it and might as well just, keep going with it because it's going to sell. The Steppenwolf that they had in the Joss cut was trash, absolute shit. I thought it was very like, all right,
just
whatever.
Yeah, it's just a dude.
And now you see him without his helmet. Granted, he still's got the horn thingies, but it's a helmet that he puts on. And like now it's not so like infused to the skin. It's an actual like piece and stuff. And like there's a little bit more to him now. And then on top of that, you're actually going to see, I think the real thing that you're going to see with Darkseid is going to be the oh man, they actually had a sequence name for this, but it was like the story time sequence or something like that. And it's basically where, you know, like all of the gods and all the, you know, realms of man came together to fight, you know, Darkseid. You know, originally it was like, oh, they're fighting Steppenwolf. They're like, no, they're fighting Darkseid. They held
that's
him
the way
off.
it should have been.
Yeah. And, you know, and on top of that, they also reaffirmed that a Green Lantern was there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of just like, all right, you know, like we're going to see how this goes, and we'll see how everything plays out. Yeah, we're going to see how it plays out. You know,
so like I think it's very crazy because like if you look at the way Marvel's going with the way that they've taken care of Thanos, because the thing is a lot of people are going to, like, if you don't read comic books and you're kind of getting into the characters a little bit more through the movies and stuff like that, you're gonna look at Darkseid and you're gonna want to compare him to Thanos, and that's not the way it should be done, because Darkseid himself is more in tune to being almost like a Galactus, where he's like omnipresent in every universe and he's an avatar, but there is one variation that's like the ultimate version of himself, right? So that's the easiest way I can explain it. Where Thanos, yes, every universe is supposed to have one, but if you kill him off, like he'll just, I don't know, be okay. Plus he was born on that universe, created from the Eternals and all that stuff, the Deviants and all that shit. They're very different based characters, even though they're very similar. But if you look at the power level structure, like Darkseid is a behemoth compared to Thanos.
Yeah.
Like he is levels above Thanos when it comes to power type. I kind of feel like what I want them to do, and this is just for me, right? I want them to kind of give a base on who Darkseid is with like a nice flashback of him and the All-Father, or from New Genesis, the old god, where they do the transferring of the children.
Yeah, the High Father.
The High Father.
I know, yeah.
We're like,
ooh, man, that would be cool, but I think
like right before the story sequence, I would like for them to do a breakdown of like, hey, this is where Darkseid kind of came from. Here he is with the All-Father. They give him the kids. Orion goes this way. What's his name? Mr. Miracle comes this way. But like the moment he gets his kid, like the Thor story, like when they get Loki, like he automatically throws him into a jail cell and just fucking fuck this kid. And like he kind of just leaves him the way like this. And then it goes right into who Darkseid is, the ruler of Apocalypse.
That makes no
like just a real
overall
quick like
story though.
Well, I mean, just a real, because the thing is they have to give some type of like, this is kind of where he comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you could do that with the people who are around him.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I guess there's just I want to see Orion. Orion's been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid.
Yeah,
which is really weird because he's not anything crazy special.
Like as another better Justice League movie where they could actually do something like that.
I just want to see him fly around in his little car.
Come in as like a post credit, scene, something like that. Have him come in that way. That would be cool because then you would know, like, okay, cool. Now they have to like give us an explanation of that dynamic.
But the thing is, it would be a very, because like the New Gods, the storyline in DC, like it was literally the same writer that did the Eternals, and the only reason why he did it was because, if I'm not mistaken, like he had left Marvel.
Yeah, no, he left Marvel, went to DC, created created Fourth World, and then like DC was like, well, this is trash, and he's like, well, fuck you guys.
Yeah, and he bounced and made it for Marvel, which was the Eternals. Yeah,
and then left that.
So that's why I kind of feel like
necessarily the Eternals. It was old gods. It was like that was the term that he was going to use as, new gods. That's what it was. He was going to create the term new gods. That was going to be his penned coin thing, whatever. And he was going to create a story with that like pseudonym.
Yeah.
He went, left Marvel. He took the idea with him. He didn't do anything with it. He went to DC. He was like right in the middle of it. And then he left DC and went back to Marvel and was like, all right, well, I'm still keeping my old God shit or my new God stuff. Eternals, Celestials. There you go.
But I kind of feel like when he went back to Marvel, he was able to flesh it out more.
Well, yeah, because, he stayed there for the rest of his career after that.
So, like, I feel like DC really doesn't have, like, enough structure.
That's not true. They have 30 fucking years of structure behind New Gods.
But for the New Gods, right?
Yeah.
Like, to turn them into a film? Because they really haven't written anything New Gods for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
What's been anything new in the New Gods?
Darkseid War.
Wait, but no, because I'm talking specifically like a New Gods story publication of New Gods.
Well, they haven't. Well, there's
there's
never been a New Gods story
comic
in
line.
DC ever.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Marvel or DC.
Now
there's
that's
never
why
ever been one.
That's why I'm saying.
But they have been referenced and given depth in other stories.
Yeah, through other stories.
So you have plenty of substance to work with.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is that's why I feel I wouldn't want them to go really heavy into showcasing like a film based on the New Gods.
I don't think they ever would. I really don't think they ever would.
The thing is you still have great characters that you could still reference in the Darkseid War, right? Or in the Darkseid storyline here in this movie. So like if you want to introduce, like we talked about offline, if you want to introduce Mr. Miracle, you introduce Big Barda, right? If you want to introduce Orion, you introduce that story where the High Father kind of made that pact, right? With Darkseid. And it's just that story of him giving a child and him taking a child and then how they treat him to kind of see how Darkseid is as a god. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, and then that'll give you like a really nice Easter egg backstory in case they ever want to do a Mr. Miracle. Because then you already know he's that kid from that flashback.
I don't ever think they would ever throw.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Like I really was like, hey, dude, but here we are.
That was like what you just gave me was like the 30-second antithesis of like
how to introduce
a comic book fan who wants to take the reins on a multi-billion-dollar fucking production. I was like,
dude, it's like there might not be an idea of a Mr. Miracle story, but here we are, fucking 10 years later, and we just got a Wanda and fucking Vision living in a house with kids story.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like there was already a story about that, which granted it was a stupid story.
But you know what I mean, dude? It's just crazy.
Yeah, no, dude, I really do, because like what I'm picturing right now is fucking you dressed exactly as you are, walking into the Warner Brothers office and be like, all right, guys, so hear me out.
Wait
Mr.
a minute.
Miracle.
Boy, I got an idea for you. I got a pitch. Mr. Miracle. The fucking comic, they never even explain how his mask works.
Yeah, and they're like, get the fuck out of here.
The guy's like, wait, I like this. Can we CG the mask on his face? I hated that mask so much, dude.
I still hate that mask.
Dude, Mr. Miracle, I like his costume design.
I hate all of it.
Dude, I hate his fucking mask that it just
I hate him too. I think he's a bitch.
It's conformed to his whole face. It has a mouth. Like, it's just the weirdest fucking mask I've ever seen on a guy. Okay, so the other one. Okay. Granny Goodness.
Granny Goodness, dude.
Granny fucking Goodness is coming to the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Okay, so Granny Goodness would technically be considered the Gunny of Darkseid Apocalypse's army. The major Gunny.
I mean, you're.
What are you doing, Maggot? God damn it, Maggot! Like,
yeah, I mean, I could kind of.
That would be literally the Gunny, dude.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. I'm trying to see. Oh man, I was trying to see what actress was going to play Granny Goodness, but because she is going to come out, that is a 100% confirmed fact. She is going to come out. She actually makes 2 appearances in the last Snyder Cut trailer, And so like, granted, like her hair is a little bit longer in the comic books, but other comic book adaptations have her with like really, really short butchish hair and stuff like that.
She has a Captain Marvel cut, dude.
Yeah, dude. And like in this one, her hair is like literally no longer than mine.
Dude, literally, if you look at the picture, it looks like Carol Danvers in Endgame.
Yeah, except
dude, I was like, are they fucking trying to make fun of Carol Danvers, dude, or what? Are they trying to say that what Granny Goodness is stronger or what? She's got that haircut real hard.
Yeah, dude, that fucking comb over, bro.
Dude, there was a part of me that kind of was like sad that she didn't have that Chicana's lion mane. Like the big fucking hair that
yeah, dude, that's why I was like, I mean, I know her as like the fucking
yeah, the big fucking hair, dude. Yeah. But you know what? Like, I'm excited, dude. I'm excited to see Granny Goodness. If there was one character
dude,
that
you know
I really,
who she kind of looks like? Like, no shit, like, because I'm actually looking at
the stills.
Yeah, at the stills, and you know who it kind of looks like? The girl, sorry, the old lady who played M in the new James Bond movies.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. I don't know if she's got the girth though.
Fuck no. Fuck no. But her face looks like it.
I want the girth, man. You can't have Granny Goodness without the girth. So there was people that someone had put. This was a casting call for Granny Goodness like years ago before I think he passed away already. The guy who played the Hobbit in the original Lord of the Rings movie, the guy who played the uncle, what's his name? The one that carried the ring.
Oh, Bilbo.
Yeah, Bilbo, that actor to play Granny Goodness. Because remember, Granny Goodness has always had that like hardcore, like, hey, everybody, it's me, Granny, like a dude's voice.
Yeah.
Like in every iteration of the cartoon, she's had like a guy's voice. So like, you know who would be, you know what would be the perfect? If they were to get someone like the actress who was in, what was that old cartoon with Matilda?
Oh, dude, yeah, that
lady, that suit that she wore to make herself look like a fucking bodybuilder. Bro, I have such a childlike excitement to see Granny Goodness because you know that's the action. When it comes to Darkseid in any iteration, you know Granny Goodness there, she's going to bring the heat. Like she's the one that then brings out all the Furies out, which are all the female combatants that Darkseid has.
There are male Furies, but you never see them.
Yeah, but you rarely see them.
Yeah, it's but mostly there are male Furies.
Yeah, but man, dude, I'm super excited. I think it's gonna be great. Yo, so I kind of feel like the nightmare sequence is going to be based on, I think you said there was a comic book that had that iteration of them back in like that futuristic time where Apocalypse was taken, or Apocalypse then came to Earth. Darkseid came and conquered the Earth. And I do believe that it's going to be based on an Injustice story. I believe it's going to be based more on Injustice, but what's going to happen?
No. Because in Injustice, I don't. So the reason that I don't think Injustice is because that was just a crack on Superman's part. That's all it is. Is just the fact that Superman was like, you know what, I am over it. Fuck them.
No. But the reason why I kind of have a vibe that it's going to go like that is because of how the Flash is, for him still wearing that costume, for it being the Snyder cut, we know that Batman at that time is going to face either Darkseid or the Joker, or I'm sorry, Darkseid or Superman, and shit's going to hit the fan and they're about to die. And Batman's probably going to look over at Barry and be like, Barry, you know what you have to do. And then the Flash is going to turn around and take off and hit the Speed Force and go back in time to tell Batman that he has to protect Lois. If not, Superman's going to go crazy. And the reason why the Flash does not make it through the timeline is because I think that Darkseid or Superman pulls him back. That's the reason why he's reaching and then it gets pulled back in the original one. You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I don't though.
Because the thing that trips me out the most is why would the Joker still be alive? If we know that for sure in the Injustice storyline, the Joker's the main reason why Lois dies.
Yeah, but that's the thing, dude. Like, and this is the one thing I've always had to remind you about, man. We can never, ever, ever trust that filmmakers are going to completely.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna. Yeah, we're just talking about where they're getting inspiration from.
So with this I see. So no, there have been several stories where Superman sided with Darkseid. And I think there's one where it's like, yeah, Superman, son of Apocalypse, or some shit like that. And there was a story.
Isn't it one of the Trinities too? In the new Dark Metal thing?
No. This is a story that was back in like the early 2000s, like late 90s, and it was like, yeah, Superman, son of Apocalypse, or some shit like that. And the sequence is a lot like this. I do get where like people are like, oh, this seems very Justice League, very Injustice, because like Superman's, it seems like Superman's running the show, right? Well, we only get that only because like that's what his fear is that he's going to crack and he's just going to be like, you know what, fuck humanity, I rule it now, and you know it's just going to turn to like complete shit. But that's the thing. That's the only thing that ever really tripped me out is like, okay, he sees that and I get that. And then he like overlooks everything. And then you see the Omega symbol. And I'm like, well, that's a clear indication of Darkseid. How would he ever know Darkseid with him never being referenced, shown, or even indicated?
Yeah, you're talking about how Bruce Wayne himself was even to see that.
Yeah.
Like how
what I think personally, and this has happened all the time when it comes to when it comes to the Flash, I don't think he was ripped out. I don't think that anyone stopped him, because the moment that he starts moving, you don't catch him. That's just the way that it happens. You don't catch him. Superman doesn't catch him. Darkseid doesn't catch him. That's never happens.
I know, but remember.
I mean, as far as
change it for the film.
I think that would be super fucking lame. I'd be like,
wow. It would bum me out, man. It would bum me out if like
the Flash. No, I don't think that's what happened. I think what happened is the fact that he went through the Speed Force, and the Speed Force is pushing him back. He's still not strong enough to travel through the Speed Force the way that he should be able to. Because he always gets reverberation from the Speed Force. That happens all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeremy just put, the story goes that Batman is supposed to die. There's this long short story that Bruce falls in love with Lois. They have a child, but Bruce sacrifices himself. I forgot the other details, but the story is supposed to go in that route. Hence, Lois is the key, so to speak. But you see, like that's,
I don't know where they get
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that. Because like, I don't think it'd be like the way that they've written out Batman right now to just be like, cool, Superman's gone, let me pick up his chick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I could see where, because for some reason, some awkward ass reason, there's been a picture floating around of the Joker with a Jesus crown on.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they're making him like a prophet, or they're making him look like some kind of like he's a poet, or he's like the leader of the resistance, or that they're making him something important, which to me is kind of like, if they take a little bit of something like the Injustice story, the Joker would have had to have done something to Superman to crack him, but didn't kill the Joker. The Joker then claims to be like the Messiah that brought the God to the earth. You know what I mean? Because that would be crazy for the Joker.
Yeah, it would.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah. I'm speculating. Nothing to go on. Just on the idea of him wearing a fucking crown of thorns and looking like Jesus. So.
For me, it's for me, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you know what? He has to work with him, because at this point, everything has hit the fan. It's not just the shit has hit the fan, everything has hit the fan. So now he's loosely aligning himself with people he doesn't want to. And
Yeah, but we remember
But it's
the
not
bomb
just
is a
been
dud.
speculated. It's almost as if like almost been confirmed that actually Deathstroke and Batman have actually worked together.
Oh well, yeah, he just goes.
And so that's why, like,
really
I think Deathstroke kind of found, Joker and is bringing him into the fray, as well as the Flash and stuff like that. Kind of like, hey man, we kind of need anyone we can get right now.
Well, if that's coming from the pickup shots, we know that when they deliver the bomb doesn't go off. So the Joker's whoever delivers the bomb, which I'm guessing it's the Joker who delivers the bomb, that's the contact that they used.
Possibly, yeah.
He's the one that's gonna fuck them all over as a joke because that's the Joker. And it sets up very well onto.
Honestly, only because of, like, now that you mentioned Crown of Thorns, the only thing that I can think of is that he would actually do it just so he could be the Jesus Christ. I give my life for my children, sort of thing.
Yeah, so that's the only thing is, like, I thought it was very peculiar that they chose that symbolism for the Joker.
Yeah,
when in the original story of Injustice, like, he sacrifices his own safety, knowing that he could break Superman and be killed, just to get this, like, crazy ass world and break somebody.
Yeah,
and of course, like, the last remnant,
we'll see. It's one of those things where it's like, it really could be anything.
Yeah, like, it's like I'm talking about, like, when I'm talking about this stuff, like, I'm literally 100% speculating on just a picture of Jared Leto in the Joker outfit wearing a crown, and it's like, why the fuck would he be doing that?
Yeah,
and
even then, like,
the scene,
I could still give a shit about Jared Leto.
Like, yeah, it doesn't really.
I'm like, whatever, dude. Die.
Like, he better Academy Award winning this shit.
Fucking, do whatever, dude. Say that Batman sucks. I'm still gonna not give a fuck about your character.
I mean, if for some reason he's able to pull off a great performance in Justice League Snyder cut,
100% can.
Yeah.
It's just that his version of it is just, or
the writers. Would you consider it
fucking stupid?
Would you consider it his Joker or the writer's Jokers?
His Joker. You're the one playing it.
He's the one that kind of came up with all that shit, right?
Well, look, man, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just being nitpicky or mean or something like that.
That trigger's jaded.
Look, man, you play the fucking part. It's yours, dude. You're the one who played it. Fucking writers didn't play it. You played it.
Because he has to be the creative nature of it, right?
Yeah, you're the one who wore the shoes. You wore the pants. You gave the performance. It ain't fucking the writers, Green Lantern. It's Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
So in the comment section, we got Rick saying, "Yeah, from the storyboard of Justice League Part 1 and 2." And he's like, "Do you want me to send you the script?" I guess he kind of. Are you trying to say that there's a script out for the Snyder cut somewhere floating around the internet? Is that what you're telling me, Rick? You cheater! You better not be reading that garbage. And then Jeremy, of course, my dude, knows his DC very well. Well, that was a story that got scrapped, but remembered in the animated series that Batman does date Lois Lane. But I think he does it out of spite because he realizes Clark Kent is Superman. Like, I think he does that out of spite because he does not like Superman when he meets him. So he even throws him. Remember in the animated series, he fucking throws Superman? He judo tosses his ass?
Yeah.
I'll never forget that shit because I was like, wow, that didn't make any sense.
I don't know, dude. Like, the only thing that I'm picking up from that is the fact that, like, this is like a Tupac and Biggie thing. And so I fucked your bitch.
Yeah. That's so hardcore, dude.
So I'm actually reading up on the nightmare sequence, and apparently the nightmare sequence, as stated by Jim Lee, is supposed to take 5 years after the end of the Zack Snyder Justice League, placing it in 2022. So next year. But that might just be because it's a nightmare sequence. That just might be like one of the possible futures that could happen if nothing changes, or if, like, Superman were to stay dead or something like that. Who the fuck knows? It very well could be like if we lose, or if because you don't see Wonder Woman or Superman in that entire nightmare sequence. So
yeah.
I'm not going to say it's safe to say, but it would lead you to want to believe that either one, they're dead, or two, they've been converted or something like that.
Or maybe they were the first to be killed off or whatever because they were the
That's
biggest
why I said dead.
threats.
I just said dead. You should listen. I said dead.
Oh yeah,
deep.
But the reason why big threats, biggest threats,
dead.
The other thing is too is if I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to be the introduction also of the Martian Manhunter.
Hopefully, I mean, like it would be cool to see him, but I mean, if you didn't introduce him in the first movie, why didn't you introduce him here, dude?
Right? Good luck.
Yeah, I would be like, what would be the fucking point? And lastly, where would you introduce him? Give me
that reminds
a
me
good
of,
fucking way
that reminds me at the end of Age of Ultron, dude, when everyone was like, oh, remember when Captain America gets all the people together and there's that one area that looks really empty? That's supposed to be where Carol Danvers was. Carol Danvers was supposed to be the missing. And I was like, well, it's just a big open area. Anyone could stand there, dude. Like, or maybe the director was just like, I mean, it's cool. Leave it empty, man. Maybe we'll put Groot there. Dude, it's like, can you imagine now the ending of the Justice League when all the characters, when the squad is standing up on that cliff and everybody's capes are flowing? Like now we're going to have one Martian Manhunter like CG'd up in the background floating behind everybody and shit. Dude, that's going to be so wild. Okay, so here we go. I think Justice League, we're really, really excited to see it. It comes out next week, midnight.
No, dude, I'm actually wanting to hold a fucking like a watch party on the 18th. Since it's coming out the 18th, dude, and that's going to be a Thursday. I kind of want to hold a watch party here at my house. And so, you know what, dude? I mean, if you want, you're more than welcome to come by.
Everyone in the comments. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? I'm going to post my address down in the comments.
The Average Boys Meetup. Have an Average Boys Meetup. I'll take my projector. Let's slam it up against the wall of your apartment, dude.
But yeah, man, like I really do want to hold like and not just that, dude. I want to hold it for Godzilla vs. Kong because guess what? It's that Friday.
Oh, Godzilla vs. Kong too. Kyle, on my way.
Dude, bet. I got a room for you, bro. Don't even worry about that shit. I got you, dog.
Well, we just got to remember that midnight, 4-hour movie. It's not going to be done till like 4 a.m.
Well, no, dude, that's why like on the 18th, the day of the 18th, not like midnight. So not like the 17th going into the 18th.
Like the actual.
No, I'm talking about like the day.
Let's get a good rest, boys. We got a long day ahead of us. Yeah, okay, so straight up next week. By midnight of the 17th going into the 18th.
And if I'm not mistaken, you fucking spoil it in the fucking comment section, I will ban you. Fuck around and find out. I will ban you.
I will find you. I will find you. I got an exceptional set of skills. Okay, so what are the parabolas of this? So like the movie comes out next Friday.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay, so we'll watch it. Hopefully I'll go check it out with you. We'll do a watch party at your house.
Yeah, man. I'm probably gonna invite some more people. I'm gonna try and get some more people out here, do some pizza, maybe some Alks or something like that. We'll see.
Maybe we'll even do like a small little we'll record a little bit of our reactions to certain parts and shit.
Yeah.
And just get some really fucking stupid ass conversations. We'll be like those fucking anime reaction things where people are just like jumping off the seats and just for no fucking reason overreacting.
Let's
we'll definitely set it up that way. But next week it'll come out Thursday, which probably means it'll come out midnight Wednesday.
You're probably like 4 in the morning Wednesday.
Yeah, like 4 in the morning. Yeah, because I hope they don't do it midnight because then everybody up to like 4 in the morning.
Dude, they're gonna shut down. They'll shut down the app,
dude.
Dude, they'll shut down the app. No shit. They will shut down that app.
I guarantee it. And then of course the next day comes out Winter Soldier. The next day comes out Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, which will be that Friday. Actually Thursday midnight. So you get 2 badass superhero movies. And then, of course, we got King Kong at the end of the month. I got the hiccups. I'm drinking vanilla Coke. I apologize. But let's say this. let's say our homies out there in radio and Facebook land and Twitch land and all the
JK,
places.
Godzilla vs. Kong is on the 25th. It's the
What's
week
up?
after next. I said JK, Godzilla vs. Kong is the week after next.
Yeah, week after next.
Whoops.
Let's say our homies in the comment section and people that are watching us and checking out our podcast, wherever you are, have gotten to a point where they're like, you know what, dude, this guy Darkseid and Granny Goodness and all these dudes, like, they sound pretty interesting.
Fuck them.
Where can we catch up with them casually right now in the comic books in a comfortable spot?
Comixology.
Well, yeah, that would be where they can read comics. But what would be an arc right now that they could possibly get behind that gives them enough bite where they can read it comfortably and not be too confused?
Darkseid War.
And we were just talking about that before we started our podcast. Guys, if you want to get into the comic books of knowing where Darkseid is, who he is and what he can do, and his new power sets and who he's affiliated with, me and Triggs kind of buckled down and said that we did our research and we're thinking Darkseid Wars, which just happened in, what was it, like 2017? When did it publicate?
Oh, like 2015, 2014.
It started, right?
Yeah, like 2015, 2014-ish or something like that.
Yeah, and it is a great, exciting run. It has a whole cast of characters. And the only thing is you get to see the rebirth, the death and rebirth of Darkseid, the way he's publicized in the comic books, but you get to see like the newer variation of what makes Darkseid who he is, that he's kind of more in tune to nowadays compared to the way he was written. So like you get to see his newer variation of himself. Darkseid War has a great story. That's where we find out about the three Jokers. That's where literally every Justice League member becomes some sort of god, right?
Yeah, like all of the Justice League, they all pretty much like become gods of something.
But it's so cool, man. Like Superman becomes the god of power. I think Batman becomes the god of wisdom. A fucking Lex Luthor becomes the new Darkseid, god of apocalypse.
I don't think oh man, shit. Let me look that up.
Which part?
It's a god of strength or something like that. Yeah, it's called the god of strength. Yeah, he was called the
Superman,
god of strength.
Right?
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah.
He's a god of strength. So, Wonder Woman was like the goddess of wisdom or some shit like that, or the goddess of something the fuck else. Green Lantern was the god of light. Lex Luthor was the god of apocalypse.
Dude, that to me was the fucking coolest part.
Yeah.
I don't know where, like, why it even became something to me that I was like, I instantly became a Lex Luthor fan, thinking they were going to continue that story.
They kind of did
with like, the Perpetua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to be like,
a little
kind of did.
And the reason why I fell in love with it so much is because how he became the god of apocalypse. Because
he does it in like a way that like wasn't.
He cons him, dude.
But he does it like out of like necessity, though.
He does it out of spite to Superman. He does it out of spite.
I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say that it was spite.
A tribal person literally captures him and says, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm a nobody from here. I'm not from here. Let me go." And the lady's like, "Are you? What did she say? Are you?
The son of a farmer, born on Earth.
Are you
trying to be a good
prophecy
man.
of a man that comes from Metropolis who saves lives and brings hope, who's supposed to be the new god of apocalypse. Are you him?" And he's all ass kicked, and he's like,
"Yeah,
you got me, got it. Yep, that's me." You fucking literally took the dude. That was Fuck, man. I was like, fucking Lex Luthor, bro. Like that literally the only thing that they didn't say was, is your name Clark Kent? Like, or Kal-El, because you're supposed to be the new god and save us all. And him just be like, yeah, fuck it, that's me. Like, that's the only thing they did. They just didn't have his fucking name. Whoever has a prophecy like that, they could have just been like, oh, are you 5'2", blue eyes with blue hair with a little curl in the front? Like, oh my God, dude. Just the idea of knowing that Lex was easily jumping at the idea of becoming a god just to spite. Oh, and that's because he did it because of what happened to Superman. Because Superman became the god of strength on Apocalypse because there was no
sun. There wasn't a
there was
sun.
no sun. Yeah. So he wasn't getting any power and he was becoming weaker. So he decided to jump into
he was dying.
He jumped into the pits to get the radiation, right?
Yeah. And then when he came out, they were like, oh,
we fucked up.
Yeah.
Real fucking dude. I love the way they did like an inverted color scheme. He's all black with like white outline.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, well, he's more of like a negative version.
Yeah, like a negative. It's so cool though.
Yeah, and so like for me, I've always been a Green Lantern fan. Always.
The Green Lantern story is so good. Lantern fan.
But when he becomes the God of Light, I was like, well, he could literally end this entire conflict by himself now if he wanted to.
Well, not only that, what about the girl with the power ring?
Oh, Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, man, she had a fucking beautiful arc.
Yeah, dude. So I like it because they actually continue that with I forget the actual story. I think it's like oh man, it's Volthoom. That like I cannot remember the story arc, but the main bad guy was Volthoom. And that's whose ring. Sorry, that's whose essence is inside of that ring, her ring. And so because like she's suicidal, she's got a lot of anxiety, she has no confidence in herself. People are always like, well, how is it that she became a Green Lantern? You know, if she's got all these things that like she's suffering from.
But she's technically not.
Well, once she gives her life and casts away her fears for Barry, who becomes the god of death, you know, then it's like, okay, she purges herself of Volthoom, you know, and gains her willpower to actually become a true Green Lantern.
Yeah, man, even the fucking Flash's story is amazing, dude.
Oh, dude, I know.
Like, for some reason, what is it, that daughter chick of Darkseid and Hippolyta? What's her name?
Grail.
Yeah, Grail. She finds a way to kill Death, the body of Death.
No, he does it. He kills him. So what she does is she brings him out because Death is the Black Flash is an avatar for Darkseid. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, well, you know, kill Barry Allen. And so he was like, well, all right, I can do that. So he tries to kill Barry Allen, and Barry Allen is like, well, I can outrace you. So boom, you know, they do their thing. And so like they get to talking, and he was like, well, I could bond myself to you and you can continue to live, but you have to take my job. And he was like, well, I don't know. And he's like, but you'd have to kill one person. Just kill one person. And that's it. And all this is over. I'm not going to kill anybody. And so he was like, all right, dude, bet. So he goes to kill a person, and he goes to see Iris West, right? He goes to see Iris. And so he sees her, and he's like, hey, I need to kill somebody so that I become Death. And so she was like, well, you didn't come to me to kill me. You came to me so that I could talk you out of it. And so like Death shows up again, and he's like, well, you know, are you going to kill her or are you going to kill somebody else? And he was like, well, if all I have to do is kill one person, I'll just kill you. Boom. And he goes to try and kill Death instead. And Death is like, hey, bro, this ain't funny.
Yeah,
hey,
it don't work that way.
Hey, no, for real, this isn't funny no more. And so, yeah, like, I'm just saying, you know, like, it was, for me, it was very, very comical with all that. Barry does end up going forward to be the god of death, you know, the Black Racer, Black Flash, whatever you want to call him. And you know what? It's great because then you also get the tie-in. Well, not the tie-in, but you get the start for two amazing stories when it came to DC because of Batman.
Yep.
You know, once Batman sits in the Mobius chair, it begins the start of Doomsday Clock and the Three Joker story.
The Three Joker story.
And that, as of late, has probably been the single greatest piece of literature coming out of fucking DC in a minute.
Yeah, like there was, and you know, we talked about this a little bit before we started the podcast on how there was, you know, there's a little bit of disappointment because there's a lot of great parts of the stories that they did not continue on. But there's so many one of them. There's so many good things, dude. So many good things, guys. If you get an opportunity and you go to, like Trigger said, there is an app called Comixology. Go back and start checking out Darkseid Wars if you want to get one hell of an epic story. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of crisis. There's a lot of crisis in the DC universe. But I feel like there was a lot of love for the godlyism of each of the characters in Darkseid War compared to like the Trinity style crisis stories. Like the crisis stories, it's always very well drawn out. Every person has their little thing that they have to be doing. Everybody works together. There's little teams. Even some of the supervillains come in and get together and work on shit. But like through and through, it always breaks down to Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman being the key to solving the Trinities. Right, to solving the crises. Even if you look at the crisis that's just happened right now, it brought all the three Trinities together to solve the problem of the crisis. So everything is like in this three set. But I feel like this was one hell of a story to bring the Anti-Monitor in to kill off like the god character that the world needs to be put together right. And in the process of him killing him off, it drove everyone else to do like the most wildest fucking shit. Where you had Batman sitting on the Morbius chair and he didn't even want to get off because he started becoming drunk with power. Like he started losing his control. The only way he was able to get off is the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan had to put his ring on his finger so that he would have the will to get off the chair. And then who fucking steals the chair after that?
Was it a Night Owl?
Fucking Night Owl, dude. Yeah, from dude. The fucking
Earth 3.
Which one?
Earth 3.
Yeah, Earth 3, dude. The evil variations. What are they called?
The Overlords of the Universe.
The Crime Syndicate.
Yeah.
The Crime Syndicate variation of Batman ends up being like, cool, thanks for the chair laters, and bounces the fuck out. Like that was wild as hell. And then what was wild as hell was like Grail was using like baby Darkseid to fucking shoot laser beams, pulling a boys all over the place.
Yeah, dude.
But it's a hell of a story. If you guys get the opportunity, even if you read like the last like 6 episodes or the last 6 comic chapters of Darkseid War, you guys will be in for a fucking treat. For a fucking treat. Well, Triggs, what else, man?
Shit.
I mean, Darkseid War is to me probably one of the best stories that I think it's a good enough soft reboot that it lets people understand where Darkseid is right now in the comic books, not getting into the mess that turned into to dark metal. Right?
Yeah, no, not at all. But Darkseid War, unfortunately, you know, like what you were saying is like they did Darkseid War and then immediately went right into Rebirth.
Yeah.
So they did not touch on Darkseid War at all. They've mentioned that it happened, and that's it. As far as like superpowers go, you know, upping the ante on anything, nothing happened when it came to Darkseid War. nothing. Which is so fucking shitty, dude. Because like, and I say that because
well, we even talked about it with the Shazam.
Yeah, you know, like Shazam was just a fucking gangster, dude. Gangster.
Well, what happened with him in the Darkseid War? Didn't he like lose?
He lost his pantheon, and then in the span of like a second, gained a brand new one and held off like Darkseid by himself.
Yeah, it was, and it just so happened because if you know people that are out there that are listening, if you know Shazam, the character from DC Universe, Captain Marvel, you know his pantheon deals with like Hercules, Zeus, Apollo.
Yeah, he has a Greek pantheon.
Yeah, he has a Greek pantheon and where his powers pull from. Hello.
Yeah, this new pantheon that he has is just starkly different from like
because they're all like the old gods.
Yeah, they're all
Yuga Khan, which is Darkseid's father.
Yeah, Yuga Khan, which I don't know where he fits into the whole Shazam.
Well, it's because he's a god. He's literally considered a god.
Yeah, but like each god is like each letter is a name of a god.
Oh, I'm guessing that he would be like the Zeus. He would be like the power set, because I know that after that is when he gets like his strength, which is like his Zeus power. Because he would be Yuga Khan would be the stronger variation of Darkseid. And I know that he got his wisdom from someone else, and then he got his lightning from the wizard.
It was the wisdom of Solomon, the courage of Hercules. Yeah, the courage of Hercules, the speed of Apollo. Blah 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 blah. I honestly God don't fucking remember all of them, but
then they all got replaced by new gods.
Yeah, so so originally it was Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury, right? And that's what he had. And I'm trying to find his new pantheon.
Yeah, like they ended up changing to some like really like mystical dark art gods. It's gonna be hard to find.
I'll find it.
I'll find
everything.
But yeah, like it was such an interesting concept.
Found it.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so this is post Darkseid War.
Okay,
and it's Siva, Hranmir, Anapel, Zanus, Ati, and Mamigaran. I'm trying to find the fucking Darkseid War pantheon though.
Oh, so those are the new ones that he's getting his powers on.
Dude, I will find it.
Oh, I know you will, boy.
Okay, yeah. So it was Anapel, Siva, Ate, Hranmir. Yep. The wizard. So yeah, the wizard. So the wizard's name is actually it's like Mamigan or some shit like that. And then I guess Yuga Khan's like true name is Zonus.
Nice. Zonus, so, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he's named.
And then that's
what he's named. He's known as is Zonus. And Mamigaran is
and then there was Sevilla.
Or Siva.
Yeah. The gift is strength of the old gods of Urgurnd or something like that. The dancer of destruction.
Yeah, which is supposed to be Shiva.
And then there's Ate, which is the goddess of impulse.
Yeah.
There's Horanmir,
the god of the flame. Sorry, of the living flame.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Zonus, right, which is the one. And then of course the sixth is
Zonus, which is Yuga Khan. Then Mamigaran is the wizard.
That is so wild, though, man. When they changed all his power levels up, it's such a weird.
But he became a fucking madman.
Yeah, dude, he became super strong. Yeah, so it's really cool. And then, I mean, of course, you get to see a really cool interaction between Billy Batson and him meeting all of these old gods in the comics. So it's really, really cool to pick up on, especially if you're a Shazam fan. I mean, it kind of touches base on a lot of different characters on how they get all these new godly powers, which are really, really cool. But yeah, guys, a recommendation for reading would have to be Darkseid Wars for our Darkseid reference. So hope you guys get an opportunity. If you guys need a place to read comics, there's Comixology. I know that there's another bunch of places online that you can find that are apps on websites. I know they're a little bit easier to attend to if you're using an iPhone because you won't get, bad viruses or whatever, but just be careful and VPN that shit. What else we got going on, man?
I mean, dude, we've got some big stuff coming up this upcoming week, with like what we stated, we got Godzilla versus Kong in a couple weeks, and then next week we also have Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we have obviously the Zack Snyder cut coming up.
And we'll have our good friend Pete Martinez on having a discussion with us, talking DC and all that good stuff. So we'll have that going on next week, guys. This will be the calling of the show. We hope you guys had a good time with us. If you have any other questions on any other parts of DC that you want to catch up on, or if you hear anything that's coming up with the DC Snyder cut that isn't spoilers, send it our way. Send it our way in the comment section, or send it our way in our Facebook post. Guys, remember, don't forget, if you also have anywhere where you go to your apps, your podcasts, or anything like that, don't forget to look us up and add us up. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Google. I mean, VLC. I mean, you name it, we're there. Spotify is the one that I like. I love Spotify. But don't forget to add us up. And guys, don't forget to tune in with us every Friday here at 9 p.m. with the Average Boys podcast. Guys, don't forget to wear your mask. Don't forget to be courteous towards each other. Tell someone you love them. And we'll see you guys again next Friday. Hey, thank you, Jeremy. And thank you for everybody in the comments. Thank you for hanging out and jumping on with us and stuff like that. Let people know, man. Share our videos, like our videos. Tell people you can jump in with us, and hopefully we get more people in the comment, more people to kind of come and talk nerd with us. And we'll catch you guys again next Friday. Enjoy the week. Enjoy Justice League Snyder cut. We'll see you guys again next Friday. Later. Yeah.